Back in September, not only were we back to school, but I was honored to show you all the latest updates to the extremely popular Santa Cruz Hightower. The new Hightower, aka New Tower, taught me quite a bit. Compared to the outgoing model, there are many differences, some of which caught some of you by surprise. Okay. Yes, the new tower right here, the new Santa Cruz Hightower. This has been an awesome bike, but I don't have a ton of time on it. I had a very short window to ride it and make the one video I did. So I just left it bone stock, went out and did the shoot. I just found out that the next magazine editor that I'm gonna hand this thing off to, he won't be back for a few more weeks. So I've got a little bit bigger of a window to ride the new Hightower. So I'm gonna do what I always do, and I'm gonna build this thing up with a full selection of the kind of parts that I would personally choose to ride on my own bikes. If you're wondering what I'm up to, here in the Northwest, the fall is a wonderful time of the year to ride. And I get so excited to go out and ride as much as I can and enjoy that wonderful, tacky, perfect dirt that I try to squeeze too much rides in, and I'm often trying to milk one bottle for a lot further than I really should. One thing I've been doing, like I am right now, to milk these bottles as long as I can, I've put a little electrolyte supplement into each one. I've been lucky enough to partner with these fine folk, LMNT, spelled LMNT, and they make a really good supplement. It's just sodium, magnesium, potassium, 3 critical electrolytes, and then a tiny bit of stevia and flavoring to make them oh so yummy. I've got a link in the description below, drinklmnt.com/Jeff, Jeff, and anything you purchase from that link will earn you a free sample pack. Today I'm drinking the raspberry salt, and it is awesome. I noticed with a simple electrolyte supplement, I'm able to stave off the signs of dehydration quite a bit better. So this helps me avoid cramping, it helps avoid mental fogginess, just the general signs of dehydration. Big thanks to LMNT, and thanks to all of you for trying this, and let me know in the comments how it works for you. Stay salty, everyone. The Hightower got a bit of flack online because, unfortunately, their fancier model they're releasing without cable routing, I think. I'm not actually even sure, just what I heard. But this one here, there's cable routing right then and there. So we're gonna run the good type. I don't love the stock Santa Cruz Reserve handlebars. I have some P&W The Loam bars that really surprised me in the carbon bar shootout. So I'm gonna throw these on here. I'm gonna throw on a set of wheels I've ridden on a few other bikes. It's also already got a Shimano free hub on it. And speaking of Shimano, I'm gonna set this thing up with Shimano brakes and a Shimano drivetrain. Same as I do any of my own personal bikes. I am sponsored by Shimano. Big thanks to Shimano. I'm only looking forward to riding this bike more with parts of my own choosing all over it. Stock, not a bad bike, but upgraded a little bit. Yeah, chef's kiss. This might not seem like much, but having components I'm extremely familiar with really helps me unlock my next level with the bike. As I mentioned a couple times in this video, I have one sponsor, and that's Shimano. All my personal bikes run full Shimano drivetrains and brakes, and as a result, I'm really accustomed to the feel of those systems. And I love them. The Hightower I was riding does indeed have cable tunnels for running a mechanical drivetrain. I prefer mechanical drivetrains over wireless electronic systems. The main reason I prefer them is the increase in shifting speed, particularly so on sequential shifts, as electronic systems are limited to really slow speed in order to prevent e-bikes from breaking chains. But nothing beats the feel of a good mechanical shift, and Shimano's Hyperglide Plus feels incredible. It actually gets smoother the harder you pedal, and makes me look forward to shifts while sprinting. The other reasons I prefer mechanical are the more comfortable traditional shifters with a better tactile feel of where the chain simply is on the cassette, and no need to charge any batteries. Perhaps I'm not alone here. Let me know your drivetrain preferences down in the comments below. With my normal XT brakes installed, I was able to do a few new manual lines I'd only dreamed about previously, and in general, I felt a lot more comfortable. But alas, let's rewind the tape a little bit to a few weeks ago when we filmed this comparison. Both these bikes were fully in their stock format, which still indeed works quite well.
Oh, wait, shut up.
I'll be hunting on Craigslist for a lawyer.
Wow, this feels great. You said it felt flexy, I thought, though.
For me it did, but that was more in the rough and not so much on the jumps. Since the old tower has such a big following, I thought it'd be really helpful for a lot of folks to do a direct bike-to-bike comparison. So today, Logan and I are gonna ride a bunch of trails on each of these bikes and compare our notes on just how different they feel on the trail. Santa Cruz does need both these bikes back in the next few days, so my time with these is unfortunately coming to an end. So last night I went through and swapped all my personal parts off of the old tower, and I was running Shimano XT brakes and drivetrain. I love that stuff, it's fantastic. I've been running the new Hightower 4, also essentially stock. Now both these bikes are identically prepped. There is one change I've done from stock, and I've swapped the tires over to some better units. Stock, they come with pretty flimsy, lightweight tires with a hard rubber compound, so I swapped them over the heavier duty double down casing tires and to the max grip rubber. So we've got more traction, more support, more better. Both sets of handlebars, I've cut them down to 770 wide. I left the stock saddles, and we got the suspension pressures set up for around 30% zag for me, 25% zag for Logan. I even went so far to make sure that we'd be equally thirsty on both bikes by removing my bottle cages from each one. The point of this video is not to sell one bike over the other. There's still a lot of new Hightowers in stock at bike shops all over the country and over at Jensen USA. So these are still very, very, very relevant. And I don't even know if the new Hightower 4s are even shipping yet. So we're not even gonna get into those details. We're just gonna ride them for what they are on the trail and have a good time. Look at this, I even swapped the same pedals onto both bikes, same grips. Took off the handlebars I really preferred. I don't like these stock handlebars, but yeah. Let's just get on the trail and see how different they do.
Here's some nice B-roll of pedaling.
Pedaling uphill.
I don't know, this thing feels really nice.
Yeah, that one climb's fine too. I like this one, I crab less pedals on the ground because it's shorter, the breakover is better. Like I can probably pedal, yeah, low pedal over that and I don't hit it. I've done quite a bit of climbing on this little Hightower, and yeah, I got next to no complaints about pedaling uphill on this thing. It's small and easy to get through switchbacks with a lot of weight up on the front wheel. All right, we're going.
I will not be hitting the one gap.
The one gap.
You know which one I'm talking about too.
The coolest jump on the trail. I didn't think I'd do it the other day.
Wow,
God, this seat feels so high. Woo! Oh God, I have to stop.
Oh, you stopping already?
My bars slipped.
Oh, what?
My bars rolled.
Oh, you forgot to tighten your stem, huh?
I definitely used a torque wrench on one of them, and I think I thought about it on the other one. All right, get this train back on the tracks. Woo! Missed that one.
Wow, this feels great.
Woo!
Man, people complain following me, and now I get it. Oh, nope, not doing that. Not doing that either.
Case. Oh. The seat post is a little goofy. Oh. This bike jumps great. Small, predictable. Short travel bikes are so good for jumps.
Yeah, this one felt really good too. Very predictable. You said it felt flexy, I thought.
I notice it more on trail gaps than on manicured dirt jumps.
This bike felt really nice. I'd never ridden it. So first time riding the bike, first time hitting all those jumps on this bike. Felt good, very predictable. I felt confident on all the jumps. My biggest complaint though is the seat post. It's like a 150. So it's kind of in my way. Oh, so I should have put a crank in. I cased both of those.
He'll be hunting on Craigslist for a lawyer.
Okay.
Way better. Yeah, we gotta use the other bikes before we have any grand statements.
I'm curious to try the other one. I don't want to only complain about the saddle height, but it is annoying.
Yeah.
Big ups to Shire Built on these jumps. Over there.
This one feels immediately like...
It's like more nimble.
Yeah, maybe that's the word.
I'm blown away at how much bigger and softer and taller this feels.
Yeah, feels good. It feels fun.
That bike for a smooth trail like what we just did, that Hightower rips. It's wild how going from one right to the other is just like, oh. All right, so we got Logan on the old tower. He did the first lap on the new tower.
Immediately feels more stiff.
It is.
To me.
Got less travel, less sag.
Oh, wow.
Between the two bikes, the newer generation grew an additional 10 millimeters of travel at either end. The new bike has a slightly longer reach, but a much slacker head angle, and combined with the steeper seat tube angle, results in nearly a 20 millimeter longer overall length. Most of this is dedicated to a longer front center, though the chainstays grew ever so slightly. That said, it's still a pretty short and tidy back end.
Oops.
Woo! You barely cleared that tree. Ew.
Huh, this one feels, I don't know.
This bike does feel noticeably plusher, softer. It's not helpful for the jumps. Hang. These are not Logan's wheels, obviously. Oh, yep.
Yeah, it definitely has more pop than the other bike. It was easier. I had to pull less to make the jumps, whereas on the other one, I had to pull a little bit more. Not better or worse, just different.
Hopefully he cases fewer jumps this time.
Oh. Oh my God. Well, you don't have to turn much off that jump, but you do have to turn more than I did.
I said hopefully he cases fewer jumps. I think you might have heard me because that was the biggest case we've seen since OJ.
That was the biggest case since Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
I wondered if you could see it.
I could hear it and feel it. A football field away, and I could feel the ground shake. I have confidence.
Yeah, no, it feels good. Definitely easier to pop.
Yeah.
It pops, goes further. It does suffer from the same problem of too short a seat post. As I ride this more, I'm just feeling better in the jumps.
This is this bike's spot to shine. I love this thing on these jumps. Like, it's
predictable,
good geometry, short, snappy, supportive. My turn.
All right, again on the old tower. The hard work, riding the bikes, doing the thing. Dude, I much prefer the old one on the jump trail. The old one's just more composed, more poppy, easier to pump, easier to boost. I love how short and firm it is. There's a big misconception that you need lots of suspension to hit jumps. And I think for very built jumps like these, built very, very well, suspension's not really much of a benefit. So I think this thing jumps fantastically well. It's very predictable. Trying to pump to clear those in there, it works awesome. And then hitting the big hip, yeah, you get a lot of airtime. If you overclear it at all, which I did a little bit that time, this is plenty to soak that up. It's not a super short travel bike, but it's enough to be predictable, enough to be supportive, enough that you can extra boost, these kind of things. So I really like the squishiness on this thing. The short wheelbase is also nice for pulling and all that. So yeah, cross-country-esque bike, works awesome on these bigger jumps. You do not need a free ride bike. In fact, this would be much harder on a free ride bike than on borderline XC little Whippet. Well,
What's the take?
when I start riding this thing, I get more confidence just because it's bigger, longer. Feels like you can make bigger mistakes and it'll erase them. But hands down, I preferred the old tower on the smooth, jumpy trail. This thing can totally do it, but you're fighting the bike more. When you go to pump, you got a lot more travel. It's a bigger shock, so you also got more damping. And it's just more to kind of deal with, which, yeah, for the jumps, like for landing and off-kilter rubble out in the wilderness, that's great. But for smooth bike park jumps, like that thing was a lot of fun. Yeah, this thing can do it, but that one has the edge right here.
Although it's not the last time.
All right, we hit a smooth, jumpy flow trail. So now we should hit something rough and chundery, something more mountain bikey.
Here comes Logan. He's bouncing.
I feel like it tracked well.
It's stiff, yeah, torsionally.
Yeah, that was nice.
It's stiff in every direction.
I'm on the brakes, heavy. This bike's a lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed coming down this trail on this bike, but the experience is so different than on the new tower. This thing can jump and send and wheelie and do all the fun things, but way smaller margin for error. And
I felt like I bit off too much to swallow, so I had to
I'm on the brakes, heavy.
hit the brakes pretty good in the middle of this section and scrub some speed for safety. On the new tower, I was not scrubbing speed for safety. I was looking for more jumps. So both are different. Both are really fun. Yeah, if the whole trail was like this, I'd rather be on the new tower, but the old tower gobbled this up. I had a lot of fun. I hit a bunch of fun jumps, but then I had to tone it down a notch. So depends what you want. Occasionally be overbiked, occasionally be underbiked. Each one's valid.
Wow. That one is just so much more confident and predictable over really rough, fast stuff. It's like, it just charges so much better. I felt way more confident going through that.
What's the verdict? This bit really, in my opinion, favors that new tower.
Totally, I felt way more confident going fast, just charging on this thing than the other one. Yeah, it doesn't get bobbled as much. It goes straighter better.
It's like, this is what this bike was built for. And the other one can do it, but it's not like as purpose built for this like style of riding as the new one is.
Yeah, no.
This is exactly what this bike was designed for. I felt completely composed. I could do whatever I wanted. This was great geometry, great suspension. I could manual, I could jump. Didn't feel like I was pushing envelopes and being irresponsible. Oh. I think those corners were easier on this bike. Those little switchbacky ones. Ew. Ew. Dude, I can't believe how much better this did in those tight switchbacks halfway down.
Yeah, I definitely slowed down a lot in those.
Big ups to Andy Grant, who did a lot of work on this trail. Woo! I haven't ridden this in ages. Wow, this changed. Oh! Pew!
Yeah, it definitely feels like less bike in the turn. Feels like you can flick it and put it exactly where you want.
Not a cliche at all. I thought that thing needed turned handlebars a little bit more and not quite as lean, which made it almost less energy and easier in a way. Easier to go through at a chill pace. The other one, the new tower, I feel like I gotta lean it over a lot more. That takes more energy. I don't turn the handlebars. And it can do it, and it's really fun, but it's more, you really gotta have your Wheaties.
Saying a lot. They feel really similar.
I don't think they're that similar.
On this, I thought they did. Other
No.
things, less so.
Okay.
I thought they were 25% different.
Hit the like button if you enjoy Logan's incorrect opinion.
The one with more travel rides through the bumps better.
Yeah, but this one's not bad through this.
No, it felt really good, actually.
It feels appropriate and safe and composed. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the times short travel bikes are sketchy through this stuff, and I would not say that the Hightower was sketchy.
No.
The old tower.
No, I felt it's just a different experience, really.
Yeah. Different, but equally valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're past the days of short travel. Nah, needs a much steeper head tube angle.
Yeah.
Thank God, those days are past.
I'd be content with this bike as my one bike.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially if you wanted to pedal solid laps. And your average ride is at least 2 hours long. And
Yeah. But I mean, saying that, it's like that's not bad at pedaling either.
No, it's fine.
Like, I would pedal that just as well.
But you would hit do different experiences. That would be more big loops. This would be more like, sick, bro. Look at this steep trail we just shredded down.
I don't know. Yeah, like technically.
Yeah.
I think what in reality is I would do the exact same thing on both bikes.
But then you'd put a 170 fork on there to fix it.
And then just have a different experience. Like
Yeah.
more fun. I'd probably have more fun on like easier trails on this, more fun on harder trails
Yeah.
on this. Have more fun.
This is for blue trails, that's for black trails.
Yeah, loosely, and then more fun pedaling up, more fun
More fun on the flat trails.
flat trails, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Living in the Northwest where we have big mountains and steeper trails, I'd rather be on the new one. If I was living in like the Midwest, East Coast, even the Southwest, Arizona, I'm from Santa Cruz, California. I've lived in the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo quite a bit. I think that one has the edge for those mellower types of trails, whereas the new one, steeper stuff, the gnarlier, the Colorado, yeah, send it on the big guy.
I agree. I would, yeah, living here, I would like to own that bike.
Yeah.
I agree with all the other takes. I don't want to repeat it all.
Let us know in the comments down below if you agree with us or if you're wrong. And hit the subscribe button so you can see more of these fun videos. And I'll link to these bikes and all kinds of other fun stuff, Endura clothing and some other bits over to Jensen down in the description below. And thank you all for joining us. This was a lot of fun. All right, everyone. See you in the comments. Peace and wheelies.